morning, everybody. I hope your day is going well so far. I'm glad that you are taking a few minutes to tune in today and listen. Welcome to Children's Church. I want to talk to you this morning about salt. Can you see my salt shaker here? Do you guys like to put salt on your food? How many of y'all like to put salt on your food? I don't put a whole lot of salt on my food. There's two things that I always put salt on though. I put salt on mashed potatoes and I put salt on the chips when I go to a Mexican restaurant. I love Mexican food, but the chips and the salsa on the table, they're just so much better with a little salt on the chips. I'll eat them without salt, but I like to do that. Potatoes without salt though, no thank you. Potatoes are bland. Have you ever heard the word bland? That's a word that we use to talk about food that doesn't have much flavor. It's just kind of like not eating anything. It's bland. And to me, potatoes, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, they're very bland. And that's why I don't like to eat potatoes unless I can put some salt on my potatoes. So what does salt do? Salt gives something flavor. Without salt, something can be very bland. It's hard to eat something that doesn't taste very good, right? It's hard to eat something that has no taste at all. And that's where salt comes in. Salt is a very important spice because of what it does for us. You know, Jesus had a lot to say about salt. Just a couple of weeks ago, remember we did this? I was down in the basement in the dark and I had a flashlight and I said that Jesus said that we are to be the light of the world. That comes from Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. But today I want to read the verse right before that. In Matthew 5, verse 13, Jesus says this. He says, "You are the salt of the earth." And then he goes on to say, "But if the salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet." So Jesus says we are the salt of the earth, the world, for all other people. But he said if that salt has lost its taste, then what's the point of it? How can salt ever get its flavor back once it has lost it? It's not good for anything. You might as well just take all your salt and throw it outside, because if salt doesn't taste good, what's the point of salt? So Jesus says that you and me, as believers, as Christians, we are called to be the salt of the earth. So we talked about how salt adds taste, it adds flavor to something that is bland. Well, think about it like this, guys. The world is bland. It needs flavor, and that's where we come in. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't know how much you guys know about what's going on in the news, what's going on in the world, but here's the deal, guys. This world can be a bad place sometimes. This world can be sad, it can be scary. There's bad people in the world that do bad things, and there's people that don't go to church. There's people that don't love their neighbor as themselves. There's people that don't obey their parents. There's people that don't obey the laws and the 10 Commandments. And those people, it's like they make the world bland. They make it put a bad taste in the world. And Jesus says that we need to be like a salt shaker, where we go and we add good flavor to the world. So how do we do that? How are we supposed to go and add good flavor to this world? Well, guys, I think we can do it in a couple of ways. We do it, first of all, by simply loving God. When we love God like we're supposed to, then we're going to live life the way that He says to. So we need to love God, and then we need to love each other. If we all love each other, this world would be a much better place, wouldn't it? If we all treated each other the way we want to be treated, this world would be a better place. So if we would see somebody who is somebody who needs something and we try to help them, it makes this world a little bit better place. Every time we do something nice for somebody, every time we do a good deed, every time we do something good for someone, it's like taking salt and pouring it out in this bland world. This world could use a little bit more salt. So Jesus wants you and me to go be that salt. But Jesus asks that question, if the salt has lost its taste, how will it get its flavor again? How will its saltiness be restored? If salt doesn't taste good, you can't just add more salt to salt. and make it taste better. Once salt doesn't taste good anymore, it's garbage. And so what Jesus is saying is, for you and I, our purpose is to add salt to this world. That's our purpose. We don't want to be like salt that has lost its flavor. We're full of flavor if we are the salt of the earth, so we need to go out every day and add a little bit more salt to the world. Do something nice for somebody. Say something nice to somebody. Love God and love other people. And when we do that, guess what happens? People that don't go to church, people that don't read the Bible, people that don't believe in God, they will see you and they will see the good things that you do. And they will end up seeing God through you. Because every time you do something good for somebody as a Christian, it shows them that we serve a God who does good things for us, who loves us, who cares for us. So when we do good things to other people, it gives us a chance to tell them about our good God. So when we do that, we're being the salt of the earth, and we're letting people know about our good God. So today, let's go out and look for something nice that we can do for someone. Let's try to say something nice to someone. If someone needs help, let's try to help them. If we know that there's something we can do, let's try to do it. In that way, we will be the salt of the earth. And this world could use a little bit more salt. So let's get out of the salt shaker and let's go be the salt that Jesus has called us to be.